Hello and welcome to our course on trigger words in construction. So basically, there are some few words in construction that just rub people the wrong way and get them backs up against the wall as soon as you open your mouth and use that word that we're going to try to alleviate today and get past. So to start with, the first and most famous trigger word ever in construction is fun word of extra. Customers love this word extra. So it can be anything from extra, this is not in our price, to too bad. So I like to use various different items for this when I'm talking about extras or things that are not included or encapsulating the scope of work and the customer thinks they are. So to start with, I'll try to use unfortunately we require additional monies for this work as the scope was not encapsulated in the contract documents. But I am willing to have a look at it with you here to see if you agree or not with me. So that might be the super nice version. Another version would be is that um, here are three options for you as the scope has changed. This cost will be additional because the scope is different than what is on the plans, but we do have these alternate two methods to complete the works at one at the same price and one at a slightly more price, but you may have to change your design intent slightly. And then at least you're giving them the choice to choose, hey, do I want to spend a little bit more money? Do I want to spend no more money? Or do I want to spend a lot? Um, so this is something that gets people's back up against the wall right away all the time is the word extra. So if you can just not use the word extra when it comes to a client or in a meeting, email or phone call, that'd be very wise. Next one is going to be change order, very similar. So most of the time, if we're dealing with change orders, I'm going to try and have the client or architect or engineer think that they came up with the change order themselves. So when I'm on site, I will show them various items that are not the same as what's on the job site and let them decide on how they're going to handle it. So, and if they're not going to handle it appropriately, that's when I'll step in. But I'll just kind of stand back and let them decipher and figure it out. Sometimes they're not very strong and we'll just hope that you'll do it for free, which we're not going to. It's not in our contract. But other times, submit an RFI, and then ask questions regarding the change. And then the consultant is forced to respond and to provide you with the information on how to handle that change. So usually if you go about it that way, you can get the client's trusted engineer architect to give you the documentation for the change order, and they're going to go fight it for you because it's something that wasn't in your scope of work. So a lot of the times that's a lot easier to get it passed. Next word, delay claim. Now, this one here can get people moving pretty quickly in the legal world as if you're threatening a delay claim. So, or just you saying the word claim, I'm going to claim you. They're basically thinking that you're going to come after them or sue them or something along those lines. So, a good conversation started to have with delay claim. If if the conversation is very fresh, is to start talking about, you know, hey, the duration of the contract has exceeded our original duration that we anticipated. We have received, say, 20 change orders to date, which has increased our schedule to being schedule completion date. And now we have additional general condition costs for toilets, fences, site super time, and all that. And usually, if you go about it that way, the customer will say, okay, why don't you create a cost associated to that, and then we'll review it at the next meeting. And that's perfect. That's something that everyone's going to do constructively together. And if you just say, "Hey, I'm going to hit you with $1 million delay claim right off the bat," you're not going to get anywhere. Next word is I am too busy, or I have been too busy to get to that. Basically, what you're telling the customers, I don't care. So we should never ever tell a client that we're too busy for them. So if you missed an email or you have been too busy, just state to them that thank you for your patience and we'll get back to you, and then provide a day that you're going to get back to them or time that day and make sure you do it. So this is one of those things that your word is your word and to live up to your word. So the main story here is though that you never ever tell anybody you're too busy. That's just telling them that you don't care and you're too busy for them, and then they probably won't want to hire you again. Next word, you are our next sentence, not my only client. This is a personal preference, hate it line. No customer needs to know that you have more than one client. When you're dealing with one client, put your phone down, put on do not disturb, leave it in the truck, leave it out of the meeting. Take care of your one client, focus on them, show them that you care and that you do care. We can't have clients thinking that we're too busy or don't care about them. That's the first way that they're not going to come work with us. So, and to get them back up against the wall where you don't care about their project and you may not get it done in a timely fashion for them. So this is something that we never ever do. We never ever tell a client that I'm too busy and that they are not our only client. Next wording is back charge. So the famous back charge. So sometimes a client may say this to us, sometimes we may say this to a client. This tool is used for, let's say, a general contractor like us to go back, say, on a drywall contractor. If they came in, did all much work, left a huge mess, we gave them the appropriate notices to come in and clean up their own mess, and they haven't, we will put them on notice that they will be back charged for that work if they do not complete within a certain time frame. But this is something that if we say it to a client or a subtrade, it's going to get their back up against the wall right away. So again, you're going to want to rephrase things and not use it as the word back charge. Hello, Mr. Drywall Contractor. We noticed that your drywall mess has been here for 4 weeks. We have provided 3 requests for you to clean the material up. You have yet to complete that. We are providing you with 48 hours notice, or else we will have the material removed at your cost. And if you go about it like that, hopefully you will get a response back right away that they're going to take care of it. If not, they have been notified. You're going to provide them the required legal notice to have it completed in to give them the time to complete it, because you do have to give them the time to complete it. And if they don't complete it in that time frame, then we tell them we're going to back charge them. But we do not use that word until then. Next word. It's a letter. I. There is no I in team. Not one person makes up Waterton. It is the entire company that makes us who we are. When we use words like I to a client and I'm going to fix this and I'm going to get that done, I've seen this in the past where the client knows that it's a team and that knows that you're not going to be the one that fixes it. And they do get upset because you are just reliving the I world. So that's something to very watch out for, especially with our team too. I'm the one who got this job done. Well, maybe you are, but it's the whole team in the end that got it done. So it's not one of these things that it's an ego or competition between one another to help one another. This is probably I know I said the other one was my favorite one, but can't. We never say the word can't. We can do anything. So can't is not in my vocabulary. Can't shouldn't be in anybody's vocabulary here. It can be done. We can get it done. So I'd like to change this to it can be done. We just have to figure out the way to do it. And we will figure out a way to do it. We'll brainstorm and we will find a way to get it done. So that's something that to a client, I would never ever want to hear anybody say, I can't do this. We can do anything we put our minds to. Anyways, this is my list of trigger words. And hopefully this gives you some help on how to deal with not saying these specific words in the construction field when you're dealing with your clients, engineers, architects, or what have you. Thanks for tuning in.